You're at dinner with friends. Saturday night, nice restaurant. Everyone's celebrating because your friend just got a promotion. $92,000 a year now, up from $68,000. That's a big jump. Real money. And everyone's congratulating him, talking about what he's going to do with the extra income, maybe upgrade the apartment, maybe get a nicer car. He's made it. He's solidly middle class now. Comfortable. You're sitting there and you're doing the math in your head. You make $88,000. You should feel comfortable too, but you don't. You've got $2,100 in checking, $4,800 in savings, $6,200 on your credit card, and you're stressed about money constantly. Your friend making $92,000 seems excited about the raise, but you're thinking, if you're stressed at $88,000, why would $92,000 be different? And there's this uncomfortable realization settling in. The number doesn't matter. $70,000, $90,000, $110,000. The middle class is broke at every income level. Not poor, not struggling to eat, but broke in the sense that there's no margin, no buffer, no accumulation. Just higher income and proportionally higher spending, and the same financial fragility at the end of every month. My name's Peter, and if you've ever felt like making more money just led to spending more money without actually improving your financial security, and you want to understand why $90,000 feels exactly like $60,000 used to feel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because the middle class income trap isn't about the amount you make. It's about the system that ensures your spending always rises to meet it. So let's start with what $90,000 a year actually looks like when you break it down. $90,000 sounds substantial. That's $7,500 a month. That should be comfortable. That should be more than enough to live well and save aggressively. But here's what actually happens. First, taxes. Federal, state, FICA. Depending on where you live, you're losing about 28 to 32% to taxes. So that $90,000 becomes about $63,000 take home. You're down to $5,250 a month before you've spent a dollar. Now the fixed expenses. And this is where it gets revealing. Rent or mortgage. You're making $90,000, so you're not living in the cheapest apartment anymore. You upgraded when you got the raise to $75,000. You're in a nicer neighborhood now. $2,100 a month. That's $25,200 a year. You're down to $3,150 a month. Car payment. You're making good money, so you bought a decent car. Not luxury, but nice, reliable. $520 a month. That's $6,240 a year. Down to $2,630. Student loans. $380 a month. You consolidated them when you got the better job, but they're still there. $4,560 annually, down to $2,250. Car insurance. You're in your early 30s with a newer car in a city, $195 a month, down to $2,055. Health insurance. Your employer covers most of it, but you still pay $140 a month for a better plan because you can afford it now, down to $1,915. 401k contribution. You're being responsible. You're putting in 6% to get the company match. That's $450 a month, down to $1,465. Utilities, internet, phone, $220, down to $1,245. Groceries. You're making $90,000, so you're not buying the cheapest stuff anymore. You shop at Whole Foods sometimes. You get the organic options. $450 a month, down to $795. Subscriptions. Netflix, Spotify, gym membership, maybe a meal kit service, cloud storage, a few others. $95 a month, down to $700. You've got $700 discretionary for the entire month, for gas, for going out, for clothes, for anything unexpected, for any kind of life outside of fixed expenses. And here's the brutal part. You're making $90,000 a year, and you have less discretionary income than someone making $50,000 who kept their lifestyle modest. Because every raise you got, you upgraded something. Better apartment, nicer car, better groceries, more subscriptions. Your income went up by 80% over the past 8 years. Your spending went up by 85%. You're making way more money, and you're exactly as financially fragile as you were at $50,000. Most people think the solution to financial stress is to make more money. Hit $90,000, hit $100,000, hit 6 figures. That's when life gets comfortable. That's not how it works. Here's what actually happens when you get a big raise. Let's say you go from $68,000 to $92,000. That's a $24,000 increase. Sounds life-changing. Taxes take about 30% of that raise. So you're really seeing an extra $16,800 annually. That's $1,400 a month. Significant. But here's the progression. First month, you feel wealthier. You've got an extra $1,400. You pay off some credit card debt. You feel like you're getting ahead. Month 2, you're thinking about that nicer apartment you've been eyeing. The one in the better neighborhood. It's $400 more per month, but you can afford it now. You move. That $1,400 becomes $1,000. Month 3, your lease on your car is ending. You were driving something basic, but now you're making $92,000. You can afford a nicer car. You upgrade. Payment goes from $340 to $520. That $1,000 becomes $820. Month 4, you're shopping differently. Not dramatically different, just better. The nicer cuts of meat, the organic produce, the name brand products. Your grocery bill goes from $320 to $450. That $820 becomes $690. Month 5, you add a few subscriptions. The premium streaming services, the meal kit, the upgraded gym, $65 more per month. That $690 becomes $625. Month 6, you're going out more because you're making more. Better restaurants. You don't stress about ordering drinks. You split fewer checks. Your discretionary spending increases by about $350 a month. That $625 becomes $275. 6 months after a $24,000 raise, you've got $275 more per month than you had before. The rest has been absorbed by lifestyle upgrades. And within a year, you'll barely notice that $275 either. It'll disappear into higher standards of living that now feel normal. You're making $92,000, and you feel exactly as financially stressed as you did at $68,000. Different numbers, same tightness in your chest when you check your bank account. This is called lifestyle inflation. But it's not just about spending more. It's about how your psychological baseline resets every time your income increases. There's a concept called hedonic adaptation. Your brain adjusts to new circumstances and treats them as normal. That adjustment happens with income, just like it happens with everything else. You get the raise to $92,000. For about 2 weeks, you feel wealthier. You feel successful. You feel like you've made progress. Then you adapt. The $92,000 becomes your baseline. The nicer apartment becomes normal. The better car becomes expected. The higher quality groceries become standard. And suddenly, you don't feel wealthy at all. You feel like you're just getting by. And you start thinking, if I could just get to $110,000, then I'd be comfortable. Then I'd have margin. Then I'd feel secure. But here's what's actually happening. Your brain doesn't register absolute wealth. It registers relative change. So no matter how much you make, if your spending rises to meet it, you never feel wealthy. You never feel secure. You're always chasing that feeling of financial comfort that stays just out of reach. This is why people making $150,000 feel just as stressed about money as people making $60,000. The expenses are different, the anxiety is identical, because the gap between income and spending is proportionally the same. And the system is designed this way. Everything in consumer culture is calibrated to your income level. The apartment complexes, the car dealerships, the grocery stores, the subscription services, they all know what people at your income level can afford, and they price accordingly. You're making $90,000, so you're shown apartments at $2,000 to $2,400, cars with payments of $450 to $600, restaurants where entrees are $28 to $40. The entire market adjusts to extract money from people at your income bracket. And you participate because it feels normal. Everyone at your income level lives in similar apartments, drives similar cars, shops at similar stores. You're not being extravagant. You're just living at the level appropriate for someone making $90,000. But that appropriate level is engineered to consume almost all of your income. That's the trap. Let's look at what this costs over time. From age 28 to 48, you go from making $52,000 to making $94,000. Your income increases by $42,000 over 20 years. That's significant career growth. But your spending increases from $42,000 annually to $81,000 annually. Same proportion. You're saving roughly the same percentage at $94,000 that you were saving at $52,000. Over those 20 years, you earn $1,520,000 total. After taxes, about $1,064,000. You spend $1,012,000. You save $52,000. That's 4.9% of your after-tax income over 20 years. You made $1 million after taxes and accumulated $52,000 in savings. Studies consistently show that Americans earning $90,000 have far less saved than their income would suggest, often under $40,000 in total savings in retirement by age 40. The income looks good on paper. The balance sheet tells a different story. Now here's the alternative. Someone who makes the same income progression but doesn't inflate their lifestyle. They keep their living expenses at about the level of someone making $65,000, even as they make $75,000, $85,000, $94,000. Same 20 years, same income, same taxes, but they spend $920,000 instead of $1,012,000. They save and invest $144,000. At 7% returns, that becomes about $238,000 by year 20. Same career, same income. One person has $52,000 saved, the other has $238,000 invested. The difference is $186,000 in net worth, all because one person upgraded their lifestyle with every raise and the other didn't.
You're lying in bed. It's Thursday night, 1 a.m. You're thinking about money again. You're making $88,000. You should be comfortable. You should feel secure, but you're stressed. You're thinking about the credit card balance, $6,200. You've been making minimum payments for 8 months. It's not growing, but it's not shrinking either. And you're thinking, when did this happen? How are you making $88,000 and carrying credit card debt? And that tightness in your chest, it's the realization that the number doesn't matter. Your coworker making $62,000 has the same expression you do when he checks his bank account. Your friend making $105,000 talks about money stress the same way you do. Everyone's making more than they used to. Everyone's upgraded their lifestyle to match. And everyone's broke in the way that matters. No cushion, no margin, no breathing room. So here's how people who actually build wealth on middle-class incomes think about this differently. And it's not about extreme frugality or deprivation. It's about breaking the automatic upgrade cycle. When they get a raise from $68,000 to $92,000, here's what happens in their head. It's not, what can I upgrade now? It's, how much of this raise can I make invisible? They see that extra $1,400 a month as something to protect from lifestyle inflation. Maybe they automate $1,000 of it straight to investments before they even see it. Maybe they keep their apartment, their car, their spending exactly the same for another year. Maybe they upgrade one thing that genuinely improves their life and bank the rest. But they don't upgrade everything proportionally. They don't let their entire lifestyle expand to match the new income. They deliberately keep some of that raise invisible to their day-to-day spending. And here's what that does. After 5 years of raises that they don't fully spend, they're making $92,000 but living like someone making $68,000. The $24,000 difference is going to investments. Over 5 years, that's $120,000 invested, growing to about $145,000 with returns. Meanwhile, the person who upgraded their lifestyle is making $92,000, living like someone making $92,000, and has $11,000 in savings. Same job, same career progression, same income. One has $145,000 invested, The other has $11,000 saved. The only difference is that one person consciously rejected the upgrade cycle. And here's the key. The person with $145,000 invested isn't living in poverty. They're living in a perfectly fine apartment. They're driving a perfectly good car. They're eating well. They're just not living at the maximum lifestyle their income technically allows. They're living at 75% of their income capacity. And that 25% gap is building wealth at a rate that will eventually give them financial independence. The person spending 100% of their income, they're going to work until 67 and hope Social Security is enough, because they spent every raise for 40 years and accumulated nothing. Now, let me be very clear about something. This isn't about individual moral failure. The system is designed to capture your raises. Landlords raise rent. Car companies market to your income bracket. Every commercial, every advertisement, every upgrade prompt is targeted at getting you to spend money you just started making. And it's psychologically hard to resist because everyone around you is upgrading. Your coworkers with similar incomes have nicer apartments, newer cars, better stuff. You feel behind if you don't keep up. You feel like you're failing at something when you're actually succeeding at the thing that matters. But the data is clear. Studies consistently show that Americans earning $90,000 have far less saved than their income would suggest, often under $40,000 in total savings and retirement by age 40. The people building wealth at that income level are the statistical outliers. They're the ones who look slightly behind their peers, who drive older cars, live in cheaper apartments, resist the upgrade cycle, and by 40, they have $180,000 in net worth while looking less successful than their broke peers. So here's the thing about the $90,000 salary. It's not special. It's not the income level where life gets comfortable. It's just another number on the treadmill. $60,000, $90,000, $120,000. At every level, there's a lifestyle calibrated to consume almost all of it. And at every level, most people adopt that lifestyle and end up broke. The question isn't how much you make. The question is how much you keep. And keeping money requires deliberately choosing to live below your income level permanently, not just until you can afford to upgrade. You can make $90,000 and live like you make $90,000 and be broke. Or you can make $90,000 and live like you make $65,000 and be building wealth. Most people choose the first option because it feels normal. The ones who build wealth choose the second because they understand that looking normal keeps you broke. If you want to see exactly how the people who actively choose to look poor actually live and why it is the ultimate wealth-building cheat code, click the video on your screen right now. Stop optimizing for the system and start optimizing for your freedom. I'll see you there.